People ask me how I do it. I just bite off more than I can chew. Then I chew it. Yeah.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Know about the Swift news? Guess what? The internet is also buzzing right now over this video, and it's from Will Smith that he posted on YouTube from his comeback tour in Europe. A lot of folks online are accusing the musician and the actor of posting a video using AI to change the appearance of his crowd.
Ever since that shocking night in 2022 when Will Smith walked on stage at the Oscars and slapped Chris Rock in front of millions, his career has been on a roller coaster, and not the fun kind. From messy political rants aimed at fans and critics, to his most recent concert where people accused him of using AI-generated crowds, the backlash hasn't slowed down one bit.
Things went wrong. Things went wrong.
Will Smith's comeback tour is under fire. Fans say he faked his audience using AI in a new promo video. Distorted faces, extra fingers, and signs that change mid-shot. Are these real fans or digital illusions? Is Will Smith deceiving his own audience? What do you think?
You may have seen the videos posted on Will Smith's Instagram and YouTube account that are almost definitely AI generated. A lot of the hands have like a bajillion fingers. One sign says for a 6 instead of fresh. And generally speaking, people just look off. They all kind of look like this.
This AI is so obvious. I can't believe they thought we would fall for it.
Well, these may actually be real Will Smith fans.
What?
No, they aren't. The video is very likely AI generated, but the photos themselves seem to actually come from people at the concerts. Look at this. The photo matches the video, but instead everyone looks real.
The internet lit up with people saying, "Yo, half his fans don't even look real." And that alone had everyone clowning him. But that's only scratching the surface. Behind the scenes, Will has been clashing with some of the biggest names in the game, including none other than Snoop Dogg. The two were supposed to team up for a playful rap skit on Jimmy Kimmel Live, something lighthearted and fun, but Snoop pulled the plug at the last minute. No explanation, just straight up canceled. That move created a storm of drama, with many speculating that Snoop simply didn't want to share the stage with Will after everything that's gone down. And honestly, that public rejection stung more than the slap ever did. Now, things are spiraling into a whole new level of chaos when it comes to Sony. The corporate giant has been keeping an eye on all the heat Will's been catching, and insiders claim they're seriously worried about how his image is dragging down their brand. To make matters worse, Will isn't holding back with his upcoming music either. He's currently putting together the second installment of his based on a true story album under Slang Records, and rumor has it he's doubling down on his grudges, taking more shots at Chris Rock, Snoop Dogg, and maybe even a few others who've dared to call him out.
People ask me how I do it. I just bite off more than I can chew. Then I chew it. Yeah.
The man seems ready to burn bridges just to get his message across, and that's making both fans and execs nervous. Will Smith keeps pointing fingers at everyone else for why his career is sinking. Critics, fellow celebrities, even his own fans. He insists the hate isn't his fault, but the backlash just keeps piling up. First, it was the controversy over his concert, where fans swore the crowd looked half computer-generated. Then came his political rants, where he went in hard on Trump and Trump's supporters, sparking outrage from an entirely different side of the internet. The noise hasn't stopped, and it's catching the attention of some very powerful people. The biggest storm right now, Sony. Things between Will and the execs have hit a boiling point. At first, Sony was ready to hand him a massive $100 million paycheck to reprise his iconic role as Agent J in Men in Black 5. The same type of deal he locked down back when Men in Black 3 dropped. But with Will's reputation in free fall, executives started second-guessing the investment. Insiders claim they're worried that audiences just aren't showing up for him anymore, and that his scandals are toxic to the franchise's future. So, Sony made a bold move. They slashed his payout nearly in half, cutting him down to $55 million. And that decision sent Will into a total meltdown. Reports say he went on a fiery tirade during multiple remote meetings with Sony execs, even dragging the CEO into the chaos. Sources claim Will accused Sony of discrimination, saying the pay cut was motivated by racism, not business. He even went so far as to argue that the company was bowing down to critics and haters just to protect their image. Now, what was supposed to be a triumphant comeback for one of Hollywood's biggest stars has turned into an ugly showdown between a global superstar and one of the most powerful studios in the world. And the fallout from this clash is only getting uglier by the day. Sony didn't stop with the pay cut. They dropped another bombshell on Will Smith that hit even closer to home. Behind the scenes, Will had managed to convince Sony to bring Jada Pinkett Smith into Men in Black 5, pitching her as Agent J's new love interest and a flashy addition to the storyline. It wasn't just a cameo. This was tied directly to Will's massive $100 million deal. But once Sony cut his check in half, they also scrapped Jada from the project altogether. Sources say Jada's inclusion was written into the original contract as part of Will's demands. But when the studio slashed his payout down to $55 million, they decided her role was no longer happening. And when Will's team broke the news to him, insiders say he completely lost it. He reportedly ranted that Sony wasn't just undercutting his career, but now dragging his family into the fallout too. What was supposed to be a power move for the Smiths turned into another humiliating blow. Now Will finds himself stuck in a catch-22. He knows Men in Black 5 might be his last shot at reviving his acting career and reconnecting with the fan base that once adored him. Walking away would make him look weak, but staying in the project under Sony's new terms feels like swallowing his pride. And Will has never been one to do that quietly. And let's be real, does the Men in Black brand even have juice left? The series thrived back in the day with Will and Tommy Lee Jones bouncing off each other, but the last installment, Men in Black International, was a flat-out flop. Fans made it clear that without the OG chemistry, the magic was gone. Now Sony's banking on Will to save a dead franchise, but with all this drama exploding around him, it looks like they may have traded one disaster for another, Men in Black. International tried to reinvent the franchise with a brand new cast and a whole different vibe. But let's be real, it tanked. Aside from Liam Neeson, who some say was the only highlight, the movie felt flat and lifeless. Fans didn't buy it, and Sony knew they needed Will Smith back to bring the spark. But instead of a grand comeback, the drama surrounding his return is turning this into a circus. Word is, Will is furious that his original $100 million plus payday got chopped to $55 million. That deal was supposed to mirror his Men in Black 3 check, but Sony wasn't budging after all his recent controversies. On top of that, they yanked Jada Pinkett Smith's role completely out of the film, leaving both her and Will fuming. Insiders say Jada herself has been venting behind closed doors, upset that her big studio moment evaporated just like that. Now Will's scrambling to claw some of the money back. Reports say he's been begging Sony to raise his payout to at least $70 million, framing it as a compromise. But executives have already slammed the door shut on negotiations. Sources close to the situation claim Sony made it crystal clear. The $55 million figure is final. No exceptions, no renegotiations. And here's the kicker. Sony isn't just pocketing the money they cut from Will's deal. They're redirecting more than $50 million straight into production and marketing for Men in Black 5. Basically, they're betting the film's success won't depend on overpaying Will Smith, but on bigger special effects, stronger promotion, and building hype without relying on his star power. It's a bold move, but in the ruthless world of Hollywood, Sony seems ready to prove they don't need Will as much as he thinks they do. At this rate, it's going to take at least 2 years before Men in Black 5 even makes it to theaters. And that's if it doesn't crash and burn before filming begins. Insiders say Will Smith broke down in tears when he learned Sony officially scrapped Jada Pinkett Smith's role, and now he's going all in with lawyers. Word is, he's gearing up to take legal action, claiming that Jada's appearance was baked into his contract from the start. Sony, of course, denies every bit of it. But here's the wild part. Will's plan isn't really about winning in court. Sources close to the situation claim he's trying to scare Sony into caving, forcing them to restore his $100 million plus payout and reinstate Jada as Agent J's new love interest. He thinks a lawsuit threat might push them to backtrack, but let's be real. Sony isn't budging. Executives are standing firm, saying $55 million is all he's getting, and Jada is officially out of the picture. Period. And honestly, Sony might be playing this smart for once. They've had flop after flop in recent years. Just look at Madame Web, which tanked their big plans for a Spider-Man spin-off universe. Now with MIB5, it feels like deja vu. Fans aren't exactly begging for another installment, and even if it comes out in 2027 or 2028, who's lining up to watch? The franchise already feels dated, and no amount of star power might be enough to revive it. What's really shocking about all this isn't just the fight over money. It's how quickly Will Smith's reputation has shifted behind the scenes in Hollywood. For years, he was untouchable, an A-lister who could carry any project just by having his name on the poster. But after the Oscars slap and the waves of scandals that followed, many insiders say studios are starting to view him as a liability rather than an asset. That's a huge fall from grace for someone who was once considered Mr. Box Office. Executives at other studios are reportedly watching the Sony situation closely, because how this plays out could set the tone for Will's entire future in Hollywood. If Sony caves to his demands, it shows he still has enough power to push corporations around. But if they stand firm, and everything points to them holding their ground, then it signals a shift. Will Smith no longer calls the shots, the studios do. Adding more fuel to the fire are whispers about how other actors are reacting to the chaos. Some sources claim Chris Rock has been quietly joking in private circles about Will's meltdown with Sony, calling it karma. Meanwhile, people in Snoop Dogg's camp are allegedly saying this proves Snoop made the right call by backing out of that Jimmy Kimmel collaboration. The narrative is spreading that working with Will is just more trouble than it's worth. And then there's the fan reaction. Online conversations about Men in Black 5 don't focus on excitement for the movie. They focus on Will's tantrums and legal threats. Some fans are saying straight up they won't watch if the Smith family is attached, while others argue the franchise is dead no matter what Sony does. That kind of divided audience is the last thing a studio wants when sinking hundreds of millions into a blockbuster. So the question isn't just whether Will can force Sony to bend. It's whether he can convince audiences, co-stars, and Hollywood itself that he's still worth betting on. Because right now, the whispers in the industry are louder than the hype, and that's dangerous for any star trying to stage a comeback. And if you want to see just how far this franchise has fallen, look no further than Universal Studios in Orlando. Rumors are swirling that the Men in Black ride might get shut down within the next couple of years because the brand feels dated and irrelevant. Think about that. An attraction that once symbolized Will Smith's golden era could soon vanish, erased like the very memories the movies were built on. That's how low the brand has sunk. Meanwhile, Will Smith's meltdown continues. These temper tantrums aren't coming out of nowhere. He knows millions of fans have walked away. The downfall traces back to that infamous Oscars slap in 2022 when he shocked the world by hitting Chris Rock on live television. From there, every move has only made things worse. His recent album, based on a true story, was supposed to be his big statement, but instead it was filled with jabs at Chris Rock and messy drama that most people didn't even want to hear. Fans expected a comeback, but what they got was disappointment. And if that wasn't enough, Will threw gasoline on the fire by dragging politics into everything, taking aim at Trump and his supporters in ways that alienated a huge chunk of his audience. Instead of winning fans back, he doubled down on dividing them. It's no wonder people are tuning him out, and Sony sees exactly what's happening. By cutting his check and slashing Jada's role, they're protecting their investment and refusing to let one star's ego sink an entire franchise. So, what do you think? Is Sony finally making the right call, or will Will Smith find a way to claw his power back? I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more drama straight out of Hollywood. I'll see you on the next one. And don't miss the next video on your screen right now, packed with even more shocking celebrity scandals.